Hi guys, my name is Sally with OwlCrate Jr. and I'm here today with a middle grade book haul. There are so many great new titles coming out every month, so here are just a few coming out between May and July. First up today is Posted by John David Anderson. I haven't had a chance to read this one yet, but it's been getting awesome reviews. It's about a middle school class where cell phones are banned in the school, and so the students start sticking Post-it notes all over the lockers for each other, and it quickly explodes, and for every nice note, there's a not so nice note. So the book really focuses on the importance of words and how they can lift people up and how they can really cut people down. I think especially in our age of text messages and instant messages, it's really a cool way of examining how the physical act of writing something down can make you see how permanent words can be, and how really important they are. The whole sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me is just plain wrong. And I think this book examines that. So I'm super excited to read this. This book came out on May 2nd. Next up, we have Space Runners, The Moon Platoon by Jeremy Kratz. I believe this is the first in a new Space Runners series. So this book takes place in the year 2085, and our main character, Benny, is chosen as one of 100 kids who gets to go to the first ever resort on the moon, which means leaving his family and Earth behind. So Benny and his new friends fly to the moon, but quickly discover that there's more than they bargained for waiting for them. It sounds like a really great space adventure. This one came out on May 2nd. Next up, we have Restart by Gordon Corman, who is one of my favorite middle grade authors. Restart is about a boy named Chase who falls out of a window while climbing onto his roof and loses his memory. So he is now stuck learning who he is from scratch. And as it turns out, the Chase that existed before was a bit of a bully. So now Chase is in the position of deciding whether he wants to relearn all of his old ways and go back to the person he was before, or if he wants to restart and become a better person. I really like the multi-character perspectives in this book and am very much looking forward to finishing it. This book comes out on May 30th. Next up, we have Finding Mighty by Sheila Chari. This is a fast-paced mystery about graffiti, parkour, diamonds, and family secrets. The book follows two 12-year-old neighbors named Mila and Peter as they are searching for Peter's brother Randall, who has mysteriously disappeared. So their search takes them through the streets of New York City, and they get wrapped up in graffiti gangs and diamond smuggling and all sorts of other mysterious criminal activity that his brother may or may not be involved with. It's a great family story, and it also has some history about New York that you may not already know about. This book comes out on May 30th. Next up, we've got a book called Joplin Wishing by Diane Stanley. So the main character of this book is a little girl named Joplin, who is an only child, and when her famous grandfather dies, when she's looking through all of his belongings, she finds the pieces of a dish that still all fit together like a puzzle. So the day after she puts this together, a little girl appears in her garden. So this little girl that's mysteriously appeared has been trapped inside of this dish for 400 years. So Joplin and Sophie, the girl from the dish, have to work together to see if they can break the curse that's keeping her trapped in this dish and solve the puzzle once and for all. It's a great friendship story full of magic and mystery. This book comes out on June 13th. Next up is A Babysitter's Guide to Monster Hunting by Joe Ballerini. This is a really funny, kind of scary book that takes place on Halloween night, and the main character, Kelly, has to babysit unexpectedly, and the child that she's babysitting for gets scooped up by monsters that are hiding under his bed. But luckily, Kelly finds a card for Liz LaRue, professional babysitter, on the fridge, and it turns out that she is not only a professional babysitter, she is a professional monster hunter. So the two of them have to work together to get this kid back home safe. I thought this had a really fun sort of Buffy the Vampire Slayer vibe to it for a younger set, and it was a lot of fun. This book comes out on June 20th. Next up, we have In the Shadow of the Sun by Anne Sibley O'Brien. So the main character of this book is Mia, who has to go on a trip to North Korea with her father, who is an aid worker. Unfortunately, once they get to North Korea, Mia's father is arrested and accused of being a spy. Suddenly, Mia and her brother are stuck in North Korea by themselves and have to figure out a way to save their dad and navigate the country. I haven't had a chance to dig into this one yet, but I have never read a book about North Korea, and I'm excited to see the perspective that this book takes. This book comes out on June 27th. Next up is The Trail by Maika Hashimoto. This is a great survival adventure story that takes place from the first-person perspective of Toby, who is hiking the Appalachian Trail by himself. I won't spoil how or why he is there by himself, but he is by himself. I really enjoyed the way that Hashimoto put you inside Toby's head and right alongside him as he prepares for the just daily grind of surviving by yourself outside. This book reminded me a lot of Hatchet by Gary Paulson and also a little bit of Wild by Cheryl Strayed for the middle grade audience. This book comes out on July 25th. Next on the list is Refugee by Alan Gratz. This one follows the story of 3 different kids over 3 different time periods from 3 different countries who all have one thing in common, that they are seeking refuge from their home country and searching for safety. So we have Joseph, a Jewish boy living in 1930s Nazi Germany. We have Isabel, a Cuban girl in 1994, and we have Mohammed, who is a Syrian boy in 2015. And while they may seem like totally disparate stories, they all end up connecting in the end. This one is recommended for a slightly older middle grade audience. I would say no younger than 9 years old and up, but definitely one to be encouraged. There is no better way to understand somebody's situation than to hear it through their eyes and through their voices. So, an important read. This one is out on July 25th. Next, we have Beanstalker and Other Hilarious Scary Tales by Kirsten White. This is a series of short stories that are all twisted fairy tales like you've never heard them before. So we've got Little Red Riding Hood who skips her way into the woods and becomes a zombie, for example. If you like twisted takes on classic stories, pick this one up on July 25th. Finally, we have Monsters Unleashed by John Cloffer. The main character in this book, Freddy, has drawn a series of monsters based on the bullies in his school and then printed them using the school's 3D printer, and unfortunately, they all come to life. So in order to stop these monstrous bullies that Freddy has created, he has to recruit the very people that they are based on. This one is full of illustrations by Mark Oliver, and they totally bring the story to life. You can pick this one up on July 25th. So a great big thank you to HarperCollins, Scholastic, and Abrams Books for sending us all of these advanced copies. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and feel free to leave us some comments below. If you'd like to see more videos like this, subscribe to OwlCrate's channel. Happy reading and thanks for being awesome. Bye.